My beloved child, come close, and listen carefully, because the universe has sent a warning, a gentle one, not a frightening one, and it concerns your soulmate. I know the word warning may sound alarming, my beloved child, but I want to reassure you right away, this is not a warning of danger, it is a warning of importance, a signal that says, pay attention here, something meaningful requires your awareness. So breathe with me, settle into this moment, and let's uncover exactly what this warning means. In everyday language, my beloved child, the word warning often implies something negative approaching. But in the spiritual sense, a warning can simply mean a strong signal, an unmistakable nudge, drawing your focus towards something the universe considers significant enough to interrupt your ordinary awareness. This warning, my beloved child, is not about danger to you or your soulmate. It is about timing, about readiness, about a shift already beginning to unfold that deserves your full attention. You might wonder, my beloved child, why this particular moment required such a strong signal, rather than the usual gentle whispers you may have grown accustomed to. Some shifts, my beloved child, are simply too significant to arrive quietly. When the timing between two souls reaches a certain critical point, the signals sent tend to intensify, precisely to ensure they are not missed or dismissed. This is exactly where you currently stand, my beloved child, at a critical point deserving heightened attention. Here is the first part of this warning, my beloved child, the universe is gently cautioning you against waiting too passively. Passive waiting, my beloved child, means simply hoping without engagement, without noticing, without actively participating in the process already unfolding around you. The warning here is simple. Don't sleepwalk through this next phase of your journey, my beloved child, remain awake, remain attentive, remain willing to notice the signs already appearing. The second part of this warning, my beloved child, concerns old patterns, old fears, old defensive habits, old ways of protecting your heart that may resurface right as this connection draws closer. This is not unusual, my beloved child. Often, right before genuine breakthrough, our old wounds rise up one final time, testing whether we've truly healed, or whether we'll fall back into familiar, protective patterns. The universe warns you of this now, my beloved child, so that you can recognize these patterns if they arise, rather than being caught off guard by them. A third part of this warning, my beloved child, concerns comparison, the temptation to measure your own soulmate journey against others around you, and to feel discouraged by the difference. This warning exists, my beloved child, because comparison, more than almost anything else, has the power to quietly poison hope, replacing genuine trust with unnecessary despair. Release comparison now, my beloved child, especially as you approach this significant stage of your journey. The fourth part of this warning, my beloved child, involves the danger of dismissing small, seemingly insignificant signs. At this stage of your journey, signs often arrive in subtle, easily overlooked forms, a passing thought, a brief feeling, a small coincidence that could easily be brushed aside as meaningless. The universe warns you now, my beloved child, to take these small signs seriously, rather than waiting for something larger and more obvious before you choose to pay attention. Interestingly, my beloved child, your soulmate is likely receiving a parallel warning of their own, even if the specific wording differs. They, too, may be sensing an unusual urgency, a nudge to remain more present, more open, more willing to notice what's unfolding around them. This mirrored experience, my beloved child, reflects the true nature of these warnings. They rarely arrive for only one half of a soulmate connection. You may notice, my beloved child, that this message carries a different tone than typical encouragement or reassurance. That difference is intentional, my beloved child, warnings, even gentle ones, are designed to interrupt ordinary patterns of thought, to create a pause significant enough that you genuinely stop and reconsider how you're approaching this next stage of your journey. I want to clarify something important, my beloved child, because warnings can sometimes be misunderstood as threatening. This warning is rooted entirely in love, my beloved child, not fear. It exists because the universe genuinely wants you prepared, aware, and ready to fully receive the connection already approaching. Receive this warning as you would receive advice from someone who deeply cares about your well-being, my beloved child, not as a threat meant to frighten you. Let's pause together, my beloved child, for a brief but meaningful moment. Take a slow breath in, and release it gently. Silently, in your heart, say these words. I receive this warning with an open heart. I release passive waiting, old patterns, comparison, and dismissiveness. I choose presence, trust, and gentle attentiveness moving forward. Sit with this acknowledgement for a moment longer, trust it, my beloved child. Once you consciously choose to heed this warning, my beloved child, something subtle but important shifts within you. You become more alert, without becoming anxious, more engaged, without becoming desperate, more trusting, without becoming naive. This balanced shift, my beloved child, positions you exactly where you need to be for what comes next in this unfolding journey. Sometimes, my beloved child, the people closest to you notice subtle shifts even before you consciously register them yourself. A friend might comment, unprompted, "You seem more grounded lately." A family member might mention feeling an unusual sense of anticipation on your behalf. These observations, my beloved child, often confirm, from an outside perspective, exactly what this warning has been quietly preparing within you. I want to offer you some reassurance, my beloved child, in case this warning has stirred any anxiety about missing something irreversible. Ignoring this warning does not end your soulmate story, my beloved child. The universe remains remarkably patient, offering new opportunities and new signals even when earlier ones go unnoticed. However, my beloved child, heeding this warning now, rather than later, often allows this next stage of your journey to unfold more smoothly, with less unnecessary struggle. At the heart of this warning, my beloved child, lies an invitation to release a particular fear, the fear that you are somehow not enough, not ready, not worthy of the love already approaching you. This fear, my beloved child, often resurfaces most strongly right before genuine breakthrough. The universe warns you of this now, so that you can meet this fear with awareness, rather than being unconsciously controlled by it. Consider this warning, my beloved child, as a form of protection, rather than simply information. By heeding it now, you protect the connection already forming from unnecessary interference, from old patterns resurfacing unchecked, from comparison quietly eroding your hope. This protection, my beloved child, ultimately serves both you and your soulmate, helping ensure this connection unfolds as smoothly and authentically as possible. In the days following this warning, my beloved child, remain especially attentive to old patterns attempting to resurface. Notice if old fears of unworthiness arise. Notice if comparison tries to creep back into your thoughts. Notice if passivity tempts you to disengage from the very attentiveness this warning has been encouraging. Simply noticing these patterns, my beloved child, without judgment, is often enough to prevent them from taking hold as strongly as they might have otherwise. Though this message carries the word warning, my beloved child, I want you to notice the reassurance hidden within it as well. This warning exists because your soulmate connection is real, and approaching, and significant enough to warrant this level of attention. The very existence of this warning is, in itself, confirmation that something meaningful continues unfolding. If this warning has felt slightly overwhelming, my beloved child, I want to gently reassure you. You do not need to perfectly implement everything discussed today, all at once. Simply carry a general awareness forward, checking in with yourself gently over the coming days and weeks, rather than demanding immediate, flawless execution of every point raised here. As we near the true end of this message, my beloved child, I want to remind you to trust yourself throughout this process. You have already demonstrated remarkable resilience simply by remaining open to messages like this one, throughout your journey. Trust that same resilience to carry you through whatever this warning is preparing you for. As we continue exploring this warning, my beloved child, I want to widen the lens slightly, and consider every warning-like message that has ever reached you throughout your life. Often, in hindsight, these warnings reveal themselves as some of the most loving guidance we ever receive, precisely because they arrive with enough intensity to actually be heard, rather than blending into the background noise of daily life. This warning about your soulmate, my beloved child, follows that same pattern, intense enough to capture your attention, yet rooted entirely in care rather than threat. I want to offer you something practical, my beloved child, a way to distinguish a genuine spiritual warning from ordinary anxious thinking. Anxious thoughts tend to spiral, repeating themselves obsessively, growing louder and more chaotic the more attention you give them. A genuine warning, by contrast, tends to arrive clearly, deliver its message, and then settle into a quieter, more grounded feeling, even if the content itself required serious attention. If, after reading this message, you feel a settling calm rather than escalating panic, my beloved child, trust that you've received this warning exactly as it was intended. I want to address something important, my beloved child. This warning, like all spiritual guidance, does not override your own free will. You remain fully free to heed this warning, partially engage with it, or set it aside entirely. The universe does not force compliance, my beloved child, it simply offers guidance, trusting you to choose your own response. This freedom, my beloved child, is precisely why your conscious choice to remain present and open carries such genuine significance. It is a choice, not an obligation. Consider, my beloved child, that your ability to even receive and understand a warning like this one reflects significant growth on your own spiritual journey. Earlier versions of yourself may have dismissed such a message entirely, too skeptical or too distracted to consider its deeper meaning. The fact that you're here now, my beloved child, genuinely absorbing this warning, speaks to real growth already accomplished. This growth itself is part of what has drawn this connection closer. Beyond simply alerting you to old patterns, my beloved child, this warning also serves as an invitation toward deeper healing. If old fears of unworthiness or comparison have resurfaced while reading this message, consider using this awareness as an opportunity, rather than simply a problem to manage. Perhaps this is the moment to finally address a wound you've been carrying quietly for years. Perhaps this warning arrived specifically to create space for that deeper healing to finally occur. I want to be honest with you, my beloved child, about something important. Warnings of this intensity typically don't repeat indefinitely. Once received and genuinely heeded, the universe tends to shift its communication back toward gentler, more consistent guidance, rather than continuing to deliver messages with this same heightened urgency. This is another reason, my beloved child, why fully receiving this particular message matters. It represents a unique, time-sensitive invitation, rather than an ongoing, repeating pattern. Let's pause once more, my beloved child, for a slightly deeper reflection than before. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, imagine releasing, physically, any old pattern this warning has revealed within you: comparison, passivity, old fear, whatever resonated most strongly. Picture this release as light leaving your body, gently, without force, and as it leaves, imagine space opening up, ready to be filled with trust, presence, and genuine readiness for what's approaching. I want to offer one final clarification, my beloved child, about the nature of this warning. Fear-based warnings typically create urgency toward avoidance, pushing you away from something threatening. Love-based warnings, like this one, create urgency toward engagement, drawing you closer to something meaningful that deserves your full attention. Notice, my beloved child, that everything within this message has invited you toward presence, trust, and openness, rather than avoidance or retreat. This confirms, once again, the loving nature of what you've received today. Now that you've received this warning fully, my beloved child, here is what I encourage you to do immediately afterward. Take a few moments of stillness before returning to your usual activities. Let the message settle rather than rushing straight back into distraction. Consider writing down, even briefly, which part of this warning resonated most strongly with you. This simple act of acknowledgement often deepens the integration of what you've just received. Looking back, my beloved child, many people identify a specific moment, often a message very similar to this one, as the true turning point in their soulmate journey. Not because anything dramatic happened immediately afterward, but because something shifted internally, a pattern released, a fear acknowledged, a deeper commitment to presence and trust finally taking root. Let today become that turning point for you, my beloved child, regardless of how ordinary the rest of today may otherwise feel. I want to add one final layer to this warning, my beloved child, one that's easy to overlook. This warning is not only about how you approach the connection with your soulmate, but also about how you treat yourself throughout this process. Speak to yourself with the same patience, compassion, and trust you would offer a dear friend walking this same journey. Harsh self-criticism, my beloved child, has no place in this unfolding story. As we near the true end of this message, my beloved child, I want to clarify one final, important point. This warning was never asking you to become perfect before your soulmate arrives, it was asking you to become ready, which is an entirely different, far more achievable standard. Readiness allows for imperfection, for ongoing growth, for continued healing even after meeting your soulmate. Perfection was never the goal, my beloved child, only genuine, willing readiness. Before we truly close, my beloved child, I want to offer you a blessing to carry forward from this warning. May you walk forward with heightened awareness, but not anxiety, with genuine readiness, but not pressure to be flawless, with trust in the timing, even when the specifics remain unclear. And may this warning, received today with an open heart, become one more meaningful thread in the story already being written between you and your soulmate. Once a warning like this one has been fully received and understood, my beloved child, a particular kind of quiet confidence tends to settle in. Not the loud, boastful confidence of certainty about every detail, but a steady, grounded confidence that you are no longer walking blindly. You now carry awareness of the patterns to watch for, the fears to gently release, and the presence required to fully receive what's approaching. Let this quiet confidence become your companion, my beloved child, throughout whatever remains of this waiting period. If you've received other messages throughout your soulmate journey, my beloved child, understand that this warning does not stand alone, it connects directly to everything you've already learned, everything you've already trusted, everything you've already released along the way. Each message builds upon the last, my beloved child, gradually constructing a fuller, richer understanding of this unfolding connection. Today's warning is simply the latest layer added to that ongoing foundation. As we truly bring this message to its close, my beloved child, I want to leave you with something that remains constant, regardless of exactly when your soulmate finally arrives. You are worthy of deep, lasting love, exactly as you are, right now, in this very moment. This truth does not depend on how quickly this connection unfolds, or how perfectly you manage every step along the way. Carry this unchanging truth with you, my beloved child, as the foundation beneath everything else discussed today. Before we let this message fully rest, my beloved child, I want to offer one last word of encouragement. You have shown, simply by staying present through this entire message, that you are exactly the kind of person capable of receiving this warning with grace, rather than fear. That capacity, my beloved child, is itself a beautiful reflection of how far you've already come on this journey. Before we truly close, my beloved child, I want to offer you a small, simple ritual you can adopt moving forward, one that honors everything this warning has revealed today. Each morning, for just a moment, before checking your phone or beginning your day, place a hand gently over your heart and silently affirm, I remain present, open, and ready, today and every day, for the connection already unfolding. This small ritual, my beloved child, repeated consistently, keeps the lessons of today's warning alive, gently woven into the fabric of your everyday life, rather than fading as a single, isolated message. Before this message truly rests, my beloved child, I want to invite one final, quiet reflection. Think of everything you've received today, a warning wrapped in love, a series of gentle nudges toward presence rather than passivity, an invitation to release old fears and old comparisons. Let all of this settle now, not as pressure, but as a quiet foundation you can return to whenever you need it, on ordinary days and difficult ones alike. As we truly widen this message one final time, my beloved child, I want to revisit everything shared today through a softer, gentler lens. Every warning discussed, passive waiting, old patterns, comparison, dismissing small signs, was never meant to create pressure or perfectionism within you. Each one was simply an invitation, offered with patience, toward a slightly more aware, slightly more present way of moving through this remaining stretch of your journey. You do not need to master every lesson instantly, my beloved child. Small, consistent steps toward awareness matter far more than sudden, forced transformation. I want to remind you, my beloved child, that this warning is not an isolated, one-time event, but part of an ongoing relationship between you and the universe itself. Just as any meaningful relationship deepens through consistent communication, this relationship deepens each time you choose to listen, to trust, to respond with openness rather than dismissal. Today's warning, my beloved child, strengthens that ongoing relationship, laying groundwork for even clearer guidance to continue arriving as your journey unfolds further. Imagine, my beloved child, a future version of yourself, already united with your soulmate, looking back on today. That future self might say, that was the day I finally stopped waiting passively and started actively trusting, or perhaps, that was the warning that helped me release the old fear I'd been carrying for years. Let this imagined reflection guide how you choose to receive today's message, my beloved child. Not as a burden, but as a meaningful marker in the story you'll one day look back on with gratitude. I want to leave you with one final, practical truth, my beloved child, as we bring this message to its true close. Lasting transformation rarely comes from a single intense moment alone, but from the quiet, consistent choices made in the days and weeks that follow. Today's warning, however intense it may have felt, matters most not in this single moment, but in how consistently you choose to carry its lessons forward, day after day, until they become simply part of who you are. As we come to the true end of this message, my beloved child, I want you to carry this truth with you. This warning from the universe, though it may have sounded alarming at first, was ultimately an act of love, a gentle nudge to remain present, to release old patterns, to trust the process already unfolding on your behalf. Your soulmate connection remains real, my beloved child, and this warning, far from threatening it, exists specifically to help protect and strengthen it. If this message resonated with you, like this video, comment what part of this warning felt most relevant to you, and subscribe to Hidden Blessings Message for daily spiritual guidance, soulmate signs, and divine messages sent straight to your soul. Until next time, stay aware, my beloved child, this warning was meant with love.